All right, you're welcome back, and this is Democracy and the Rule of Law. Barrister Onwokedi, what's your take on the leaked memo written by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachiko?
For me, it's very, very unfortunate that this present government will still be enmeshed in this kind of scandal, going to the background of how they emerged and how they were able to assume office. This kind of issue shouldn't have been, associated with this government in any manner or in any kind at all. But unfortunately, here we are, having almost a replica of what transpired during the last administration and what made Nigerians to repose confidence in this present administration, believing that things would have been done differently. But here we are having an issue where an occupant of an office is deviating entirely from the procedures laid down for certain things to be done, for certain processes to be strictly adhered to in order to come up with a kind of result that will be for the overall interest of the nation. They are circumventing, things that will guarantee transparency, that will guarantee equitable distribution of wealth, that will guarantee equitable distribution of our commonwealth, and that will guarantee good of the citizenry. Because if you look at what actually happened, why in the first place should that happen? Why in the first place should a managing director circumvent a process that will make other members of the board be part of the daily activities of NNPC? If it has been provided that this is the procedure to be followed before doing this or before doing that, and now you assume office, you now decided deliberately, if I may be right, to circumvent those people to go ahead to award contracts worth of $25 billion. When I had that amount of money, I felt into coma. Somebody woke me up because I started calculating what $25 billion can do. Even if it is only 1 billion, even if it's only 100 million, that process enabled them to take away from our treasury unlawfully or illegally or fraudulently. Because if you look at the intention, why must a law provide that certain procedures must be adhered to for certain things to be done, and you decided not to do it? What do you have in mind? If you have a clean conscience, if you are transparent, if you have the mindset of allowing your activities to be criticized, to be looked into, to be vetted, for others to make their inputs, then you have to make it fair. So it is quite unfortunate that we are still at this stage when we believe that we have learned our lessons based on what transpired previously in the administrative climate of Nigeria. But unfortunately, this kind of scandal, if not of a higher magnitude, is still bedeviling this nation. It is very, very unfortunate. It's very, very embarrassing. And for me, it should be properly investigated. Because it's not for our good. I don't know. I'll say something.
All right. Let's take a look at the petition. In the petition, Kachiko called for the cancellation of recent appointments in the NNPC, saying that for over 1 year, he had tolerated the disrespectful and humiliating conduct of the GMD to his office and has decided to bring the issue to the attention of the president. Now the question is, what do you think could be happening between appointees of this present administration? This is not the first time we're hearing issues like this. I have many examples here. But first, what do you think could be going on between appointees of this present administration? There seems to be no synergy, no cooperation.
Yes, thank you. First of all, let me apologize for coming late. But the point is this. I think I listened to my good friend, Barrister KG, and my other colleague here. But by way of a direct answer to your question as to what is going on is very simple. It's power tussle and lack of synergy between the various appointees. And also, if one person wants to have their own pounds of flesh, this is what you are going to get. And if you give yourself the benefit of hindsight and look back, at the inception of this government, the poster person when it comes to NNPC is the Minister of State, Kashiku.
Yes.
And you will still vividly recall there was a bit of fuel scarcity earlier on when this government came to power. And this man came out, he was the face of the NNPC with series of bravura performances. And thereafter, in March 2016, this is when the whole problem started. There was a major restructuring of the NNPC to 5 divisions and 20 autonomous independent bureau or divisions. And in July 2016, the president, in his wisdom, decided to remove Kashiku and then brought in this gentleman, Dr. Batu. And you will still recall that Batu used to work under Kashiku before as the MD Retail, NNPC. And because of the reorganization, there are a lot of bad feelings between Kashiku and the man because he felt undermined. But when Fashion smiled on him, he became the GMD. What do you expect? He will say, okay, this is a good opportunity for me to get back to you. And you will see this. If there is lack of joint thinking, and if people leave the private sector to get into the storming arena of politics, and what is the definition of politics is have power. And what is going on here is power is at play. But by and large, the benefit is that at least we know what is going on behind the scene. And if you look at the petition, there are various allegations of insubordination and at the same time allegation of award of contract without referring to the board. And for us to have an informed opinion, the first question we need to ask ourselves is this: has this man, Batu, contravened any of the provisions of the Act? First of all, let's start with the NNPC Act. Then, from there, look at the Public Procurement Act, look at the NNPC Handbook, and also look at how things have been done in the past. And if you give someone the power to award any contract without referring to board up to 20 million, what do you expect? It is either they're going to split it, award contract up to 19.5 to make sure they don't get the 20 million so that they could bypass the board, or what they will do is to just be doing things the way they've been used to. But there's one significant problem. The Minister of State, which is Kashiku, and you are the Minister of Petroleum Resources, which is the president. And what the gentleman seems to be saying is that, listen, I don't need to refer to you as the Minister of State because the NNPCR doesn't recognize the Minister of State. If I have any decision to take, I have to go straight to the president. It may well be that's one side of the argument. But the second side of the argument is that the president has appointed the Minister of State to be the chairman of the board, which means technically he has delegated his power to that person. Do you really need to bypass him and go straight to the president? If not, because of the bad feeling that has been in existence between the two of you. That is one. And the second point is that if I'm the president, if you try to, you see, if you give people authority, you must give them the ammunition to exercise that authority at the same time. If I appoint my good brother to be the chairman of a board, and you try to bypass him and come back to me, what I would say is very simple: go back to him. Pass your memo through the Minister of State. So the president himself, or the presidency, or whatever, as an institution, has their own share of the blame here. Because if you give him that opportunity to come to you without going through the board, what is going to happen is that it's going to undermine the integrity of the board. And it's not limited to that. And this issue about, you know, this letter was born out of frustration, if you look at it technically, because the man said, I've tried to reach you, I can't get to you. And that is the problem you will get if you create a bureaucratic system. If there's no flexibility in the system, what you will get, people will write you a letter and they will leak it to the press in order to get your attention. And if care is not taken and it's not well managed, it's going to become a scandal. And also, on the other side, on the flip side, you will notice that, you see, when power is at play, you will get all this sort of situation which we have here, whereby one person is saying, look, I senior you, you senior me. All these are issues you need to have addressed when you carry out, because there's something we call histogram, where you say in every organization, this person is the head, and then followed by